All right, good morning, everyone. Dan here with tradingology.com and probably a shortened version of the trading room for today, but definitely want to cover a couple new things. And Andy, it looks like that might be you in the chat, or let me know. I know we have a couple Andys or Andrews that are members, so let me know, Andy, if that's my script guy. All right, perfect. All right, we'll see who we all get to join in. I have loaded up your deal, so that's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. And then I can unmute you for a second here. Where is my video showing up? I don't want to cover something. Is like over here out of the way? All right, we'll keep it up there. I usually don't see it until I look at the recording after the fact, so I'll keep that out of the way, hopefully. Or maybe I can just put it over here. All right. Well, I'll get going here. We'll see how many guys roll in. Thank you. That's actually, for those that haven't seen yet, that is from our trip up to Canada this year, looking from Waterton Lakes National Park in Canada down into Glacier. So that's looking south. Fantastic place. I love it up there. Little city. Right in here is where the shops are and the people live. I don't know if they stay there all year round, but I believe there's actually a few that are in there. So I want to definitely talk on a few things that Andy's put together for us, and then a couple things just for the VA trade. So I'll cover the VA trade first today. And then I don't believe Dave's joining us. He's busy at some crypto conferences, doing a bunch of things. I believe he's out in Las Vegas right now. So he just got me today. Hey, good morning, Alexander. Good to see you. So we'll pull up actually a couple things that Andy has worked on for us, is refining the spreadsheet, because we are creating an 8th column script similar to the 5th column. And what Andy found was, looking at some of the algorithms, we were able to refine and make this even a little bit more better, to say it a funny way. But what he did is he's able to even refine it to make it even better. So we have a version 3 that will be uploaded to the member site at the end of the week. And this is going to be the holy grail. So one question for you, Andy, I don't know if you can answer, we can always take it offline, is I do see that it's painting in the next day prior to numbers, where I don't want to confuse members by looking at this, because this actually hasn't happened yet. So we got, obviously it's 0 because the day hasn't happened. This is today. I have no numbers here, right? So if I just populate in the week, we're not there today, but we already have some numbers drawn. So I don't want to confuse people and not taking that into their bias. So actually we need to look at it like this. So today we're coming into it, went from a 5 to an 8 on the negative side. So down bias there, little flat over here in the cross column, but we still got the overbought, oversold is definitely glaring us in the face, saying, hey, we are at an oversold 3 days in a row. The swing signal signaling up because these are above 20. It's just from a formula fill. Okay, so maybe if I just take out that line, it won't populate in. Okay, just so long as people know that are watching the video after the fact, the new V3, if you do see that, don't take that into your bias consideration if you do have your spreadsheet that way. This could misconstrue you to think, hey, we're already starting to go to the positive side with the first column painting in, but this isn't actually part of the bias yet, because we're on this day right here from yesterday's numbers. So we're kind of looking at, hey, we're at the peak here. We've got 3 days in a row of fully filled in. Typically when we see the oversold or overbought hit with 2 days, and especially 3, it is a good sign that it's going to go the other way. So our bias for this morning is definitely to the upside. Just to look at quickly the TSA, a little bit of conflict, but with where we are in the grand scheme of things and taking everything into context, I definitely had a up bias, 70% up, potential 30% down. So leaning definitely on the upside, swing signals up. Our price ratio is also at an all-time low. So it's busted through, and we have this peak in the 8th column here above -2. So if I switch this over to the trend, we will see where our normal support that we've seen numerous times, you've heard Dave and I talk about over and over again, right around that 3.4 level. We have definitely broken through that, now down to a 3.34. So we might see new realm down here if we ever get down to like 3.3, if this is new normal and no longer the bottom floor. But definitely major area down here. looking at a long for today as it was setting up. So as I come into the morning, I'm kind of cheating. I did take this trade this morning before the room. I am out of it already, but this is what we're looking at in the 4 hour. So as we traced over, see if I can slowly move it without giving away the whole thing for those that haven't looked yet. Looking for, our 1 minute was trending down. So we're expecting to bounce around the open. Had a little bit of movement. The first minute was definitely a large down on the spread. So I was waiting there. I was not in this one prior to the open. So I waited until the open to enter today's trade. The little red arrows here are when I actually entered. So I'll just bring it across here. Oh, and look, we're still going. I haven't even seen that yet. So here was my entry point for today. I waited until this line was complete and this third minute was beginning. So it was actually 8:33 was when I entered today, right on this red arrow. And I wrote it up to this red arrow. So I'll roll in the 5 minute. So I took a conservative route today. I exited here for about $200 a contract. Plenty happy with that. I'm on the positive. We're good to go. It's a nice day there. A little bit more aggressive or more of the swing trade. We could have waited until we actually pierced this 5th column. And this is where I'll show the differences in the 8th column, or what we're going to call the nth column, where we're going to give you the ability to choose which column you want to see. But looking at the 5th, as I'm updating, and I'll pull over my other chart in a second here. This one did actually touch. You see the red arrow is up here on the 1 minute chart. It was pushing up at this point at one time where this was hitting a 0.28. So now it's up to a 0.41. So if anybody's in this for a swing trade, absolutely, we're approaching that 0.5%. And the way the nuances work on the 4 hour chart, I drew a line here. So if this breaches this line, that's another good exit point if anyone is in this trade spread long. I probably would have stayed in a little bit longer had I not been doing the videos, but this is perfectly fine. I got profits, I'm happy. So this was my conservative exit. This would have been my normal exit had I not been doing the videos, just because we were approaching that 0.3. So if you're getting out of 0.3 on the 4 hour chart, that happened right around here. I think it was a 0.28. It didn't actually hit the 3 until obviously later. You see right now where we're currently at a 41 on the 4 hour. So nice, beautiful setup on the VA trade this morning, long the spread. Typically means the market is going down. So if we pop over, look at my underneath for the 10-minute charts, and we see, look at that setup. The YM's actually up and the NQ's down, making money on both sides of the trade. That's a beautiful thing. That's why the spread's moving so nicely, because they're both in profits actually. And then now to look at the other part that Andy has put together for us. Thank you very much again, Andy, is the nth column. Let me resize this so we can see it a little bit more normal. It's fighting me. It wants to be full screen. They always want to be full screen. All right. One note of feedback, Andy. Can we draw it so the reds are below the line and the greens are above like we were previously on the columns? We see the green was up and the red was down. And I'm curious, right now I got the nth column underneath here. And this is on the 4 hour. Let me pull up this one. So here we're, again, all on the top side. So if we can modify it at all, if I can modify it, if it's just a little switch to have these paint on the bottom, that would be helpful, I believe, to members. And there it's actually reaching that line. There's close to 0.5%. So beautiful little exit there. Anybody that's still in the trade, good exit time. See how it's actually kind of running out of gas on the 1 minute. That was another reason that I exited too, because if we look into this point here, it was kind of running out of steam. So I was grabbing my profits in the event that it turned back around, because we were at a peak, almost hitting on the 1 minute chart. So I'm always looking for that 5th column, which will eventually be the 8th column. And we see it here, it's actually starting to bounce off that. So very good exit point. It might very well turn back around. We'll see. But all good exit points anywhere along the way. Conservative, 0.3. And just from a nuance of when this bar painted, nothing, just kind of looking at that technical analysis side of the way, because they do tend to retrace to previous areas. So if we end up, coming around here and closing, tomorrow might actually come way up here if we continue the uptrend. We'll see. Nothing's guaranteed, but that's just one thing you look at for nuances. That's why I drew the line from that bar. I can switch by changing the bell curve to false. Perfect. So I will look into that. I'll check that after the videos, Andy. Appreciate it. So yeah, if you got any tips or just quick trips, I can move these guys around. I love it. So what you're going to be able to do is select your own. So let me open this up for you. And come in and edit the studies. And here's the VA nth column. So the new scripts that Andy has coded, and we have them for TOS as well as TradingView and TradeStation. So anybody that's watching this recording after the fact that is not a member yet, that doesn't have access to the VA Masterclass, especially for our international players or Canadians that can't have access to TOS, we now have access to multiple platforms with the VA scripts. So TradeStation, TradingView, all good to go. So if you don't have access yet, hit me up, support@tradingology.com. I'll hook you up with the info and I'll get into that VA Masterclass, which will include all of these scripts for multiple platforms now, not just TOS. So thank you again, Andy. But once we come inside the gear here, you can pick exactly how many columns you want to see. So column level right here, I have this to the 8th. So the old school way, we could dial it into 5. We actually do 10 columns in the spreadsheet under the covers. So if you wanted to look at that and just test it out, you can go to 10 and then see what you see. We have found the 8th has been historically the best point up till now to identify the potential peaks, which is signaling over -2% today. So I dialed that one into 8. And here's where I'll do some customizations to get it the way we need it. But you can definitely modify those. And we do have, I won't show them all today, but he has already coded in the Vol-Arb oscillator and the bell curve oscillator. We'll see the new ones are all VA in the front. So those are the new scripts from Andy that will be coming out there. Not on the website yet for download. As soon as I've made the final tweaks with the up and the down so everyone's kind of familiarized, I will send out a note. It'll probably be the end of the week sometime before all is said and done, probably with the end of the week updates. And we'll have them up there for you. So anybody that has the VA Masterclass will get access to that. And look at that on the 5-minute chart. Couldn't have drawn that up any better with that line, just literally from across the top over there. How are you guys? Either you guys take the trade this morning or any activity going on? Oh, Andy, coming on mic. How you doing, buddy? Or did you hit that by accident? Alexander, did you take a trade this morning? In the nice afternoon for you. You don't have to wake up early. So perfect news for you, Alexander. I know you've been having the issues with TOS. Here we go. TradingView scripts. Awesome. You took a negative for 100. Oh, did you take the first minute? Did you grab this? You got lucky, sir. Good to be fast. That was definitely a very large move. The NQ just dropped like a rock, or excuse me, shot up right before the open. Be careful with that. As long as you're quick on that trigger. And I know you've got some good practice going in, so good job on grabbing profits when you had it. So now we see it coming back down. So any questions, Alex or Andy, on anything you're seeing? Anything I can answer for you guys and anybody else that jumps on? I know today was going to be a little bit shorter, I assume, since I don't have quite the prophecy of Dave yet, the all-time master, to fill time and give you guys loads of information, but I definitely wanted to share the spreadsheet and the new scripts that are coming, especially for our members that don't have access to TOS. That's huge. All right. Well, we'll probably just wrap her quick then, guys. We won't drag it out. We'll quickly look, maybe let's see what the market's doing. We'll move our new charts over here back to the Vol-Arb area. And just take a look at the market. I know the strong market team does have some aggressive shorts on based on opening this morning. Take a quick look at the internals. I actually haven't looked since we started the session. Kind of just hugging the mean line there on the volume up down and the advancing declining. Opened up low and then it's moving up. So definitely a choppy looking day setting up there. I believe they have shorts on MYM and a couple others. I believe they went a little aggressive. So we'll watch that play out. Maybe take a jump on those. But personally, that's sitting right around that zero line. That's kind of gross. No real direction there. It's not one way or the other on a ton of herding going on, but definitely some down volume coming into the Qs though. So that's why we saw that big move up, which helped your spread in the first minute there, Alex. That's where you made your money, was right there. In the first minute of this, then it definitely came right back down because we see we're all red in these price signals and we're green over on the YM. So that's what's fueling the perfect long the spread trade. So it all comes together. It's one of the more rare days, I will say, where it's profitable on both sides. That doesn't happen all the time. The days that it does is really nice. That's why it hit that almost 0.5%. So that is a good thing to point out there that we saw with this line here. When we're getting close to 40-50, that happens much easier and much quicker when both sides of the trade are profitable. Typically, one's faster than the other, right, where they'd both be down and the spread's going up, but the Qs are going down faster than the YM. So the money's made on the Q side, typically. Not always, but that's just more common. So that's why we see the big move early on is both sides in profits, which is why it was also 70%, stronger for the upside, and it turned out nicely. So that all worked together. And we see the latest internal started out low, but is retracing back up. Now it's right around 44, 43. And the old school original coming back to the middle there. Looking probably like a lot of chop in the Dow, which is kind of just hovering around here, 27, 25 to 60, give or take. So that's what we see from the internals. Probably going to be a little bit slower, would be my guess, until I believe tomorrow is the FOMC announcement, or until Trump tweets something. Absolutely. I loved it. I sent David text because I got it from another member a while ago. It was a picture of your technical analysis has no power over my tweets or something along those lines. I thought it was hilarious. All right. Alex, any questions from you over there? Anything I can help you with? All right. Appreciate it, man. You know how to get a hold of me if you ever need to. We'll probably call it a wrap then, guys. Nice short little 20 minutes, but the goods are out, and look for the new scripts coming out later this week. Any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Once again, support@Tradingology. Thank you, Andrew, for everything. And Alex, have yourself a great afternoon and evening. Take it easy, guys.